Rene, you used it, and I'm glad to say you are an artist.
Yes.
So you're really well equipped to answer this question. When you watch the movie that they showed at the event or watch it on the Apple site, that pencil looks so responsive, so low latency, so functional. Was that movie hype, or is it really that good?
So I was promptly sent a list of things that I had to test for by one Serenity Caldwell to make sure that I did not miss a thing. And I made sure to go down that list.
Maybe 3 pages long.
What did you want him to look at, Serenity?
Oh gosh, hold on. Can I pull up the list? I wanted him to look at first of all, how the pencil felt when it went across the screen, whether it felt like drawing on glass. I wanted to see how good the tilt actually was, palm recognition, whether when he pressed down there was actual clicking on the screen, or whether it felt like a smooth.
Oh, you had a lot of questions.
Oh, I had a ton. Quick hash marks, print versus cursive. There's a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to digital writing on surfaces with pens, that you don't really think about when you're just writing with a normal pen or a normal pencil. But with a digital pen, it becomes very, very obvious.
And are you thinking from the context of an artist or from somebody doing handwriting, taking notes?
Both. So the big problem with the digital pen that I've found in my years of reviewing styluses is when you're going to make quick movements, especially on current generation iPads and on the original generation iPad, is that lag is a huge issue, latency. So when you make one hash mark and you go to make another very quick hash mark, or you're writing print and you write a T and then you try and write an H, if the lag is too much, that will create sort of an offset between the time that you write the T and the time you write the H. So when you've gone on to the I, all of a sudden you find yourself very, very discombobulated in your writing process. And that turns into your writing slanted, or writing too close together, or letters too far apart. Right. And so you basically have to completely relearn how to write and how to sketch if you're doing hash marks or that kind of thing. People can get around it, but at the same time, it's one of those things that for a good digital artist's tool, you need to be able to make quick marks and quick lines without anything weird getting in the way.
So I've heard the palm rejection is superb. Yes.
Yeah, I went down her list, and just some background. I used Wacom tablets for 10 years when I worked in design, and I took 2 years of Chinese calligraphy in college when I learned Mandarin.
I was really glad to see calligraphy, Chinese calligraphy on there, because that is the most demanding kind of calligraphy. A Chinese character, it's extremely important if you're going to make it legible that there's a flow to this. This is not an abstruse art in China. It
can't look uncanny.
It has to look like it was, and so if it can do Chinese calligraphy, that's remarkable, and it looked like it could.
So the palm rejection is superlative. It's just fantastic. I just rested my hand on it for a while and drew, and I had not a single problem. Like they showed you can put 2 fingers down to call it. So it does touch and pencil at the same time, which is awesome. You can pull up the ruler, draw on it. I did very quick cross-hatching for shadow. It kept up with me. I signed my name. I did a bunch of cursive writing. They are doing a predictive algorithm. At least it looks like it. So when you're drawing, it's trying to see where you're going to go, so it makes sure it never lags behind you. And once in a while, I caught it adjusting if I made something like an odd turn or something. But it was so fast that if I hadn't been known to look for that, just because I have experience in using styluses, I wouldn't have even noticed it. And I could not erase it. I tried really hard. I'm sure it's not perfect, and I only had limited time in the demo area, and I'm sure it's in some occasions it won't do exactly what you want, but it is by far the best digital pen I've ever used across all manufacturers.
I'm so excited about that. And I'm not an artist or a calligrapher.
And there's no layer in between. Like the problem with the Wacom Cintiq layer is that the Wacom layer and the Galaxy Note, because I've used those quite a bit too, is there's a layer in between you and the pixels. And this really looks like you're drawing into the glass. And it's not, like it doesn't slide across the glass, to Serenity's point. Some of them are just so slick. And with paper, you're used to the texture of the paper. And of course, this is glass, but they made a textured top on the pen, so you get just enough drag, and the pencil is just the right weight that you start to forget you're using a digital tool. And that was the most impressive thing to me.
I think this could be a revolution for a number of different categories. Artists, certainly.
Not only that, but there's so many people who actually, whenever I'm testing out like a Windows 10 tablet or something like that, something that has a stylus, the first question I ask is this a stylus for taking notes with, or is this a stylus for drawing with? And most of them are just for taking notes with. So that not only defines the difference between the ambition of the pencil, but it also says that there are a lot of people who go into meetings and who want to hand draw notes. And so you think about all the different applications. I mean, all the different sorts of people for whom typing on a keyboard or tapping buttons is not the way to convey information that's coming to them or being told to them. And I just we could talk for 3 hours about everything that the thing that got me to saying that no, I definitely have $1,000 I'm going to spend on the second the split second they become available for pre-order. And the sixth, seventh, or eighth item on the list was, oh my God, Avatron Air Display. And now when I travel with my MacBook, I will of course have my iPad with me, but now that's going to be my second screen, so I could be super productive. I'll have a 2-screen setup wherever I go. It's such a long list. It's not just making, to Renee's point earlier on, whereas the iPad mini was just, we took the iPad, we made it smaller. This is taking the iPad and making it into an entirely different class of device.
Yeah. I
Why don't I have one now? I have $1,000. Please take the $1,000.
Andy, you are the most excited person on the panel about the iPad Pro. I stand corrected.
Was that so hard? Was that so hard?
No, I'm very excited too.
I can outside you.